Hello, my name is Mary Jo McPherson. Principal Rakowski was kind enough to invite my team here today to pitch an idea to you that we're really excited about, a video game for the alternative high school. This video game can be accessed via smartphone, computer, or tablet. Prior research done at the school shows that this population thrives when offered non-traditional, self-directed activities. Players can access the chapter in an asynchronous fashion, allowing learning at their own self-determined pace and their chosen optimal points of learning readiness within an assigned 7-day window. Most teenagers, the word history means learning about the same old thing. But the hidden hook here is that this game reveals the hidden history in the United States, implying something fun and mysterious to learn about. The video game allows students to make learning choices independently, while assuming the identity of their chosen character as they walk through history. A dual history book will be created with the Japanese internment camps featured as one chapter in the Book of American History. The book could later be expanded to include other history lessons by adding more chapters. The book starts by introducing the characters and briefly explaining their roles and relationships. Game objectives include, first, identifying how fear and ignorance of different cultures lead to prejudice and hatred. Second, to engender cultural competency through empathetic connection to a historic time period using narrative, adventure, and role play. Number 3, to encourage students in recognizing incidents of prejudice throughout history, as well as making a connection between ways in which Americans have acted heroically to end race-based division, for example, by fighting the Civil War to end slavery. The game will incorporate world and American geography while explaining events within the context of what is happening in America and the world at that time. For example, Hitler came to power in 1933, gradually increasing his reign of terror across Europe for the next 12 years. The U.S. took no part in the war until 1941. On December 7, 1941, that all changed on the tiny Hawaiian island of Honolulu when the naval base at Pearl Harbor was bombed by the Japanese. To the rest of the world, Pearl Harbor means the point at which the U.S. entered the war. However, to thousands of Japanese citizens living in the United States, Pearl Harbor meant their arrest and internment in concentration camps based solely on their racial ancestry. The game will be designed on the Articulate platform, combining role-playing, simulation, and adventure. Players will demonstrate competency by earning badges. The game can be accessed via smartphone, tablet, or computer. Achievement is tracked electronically by teachers. Players will choose a character to be in the game, as well as choosing how their character looks and dresses. Players choose to inhabit the persona of either the teenage brother, teen sister, or the single mother of the family. As you can see, longer explanations are provided here. We'll leave this presentation deck for you to refer to later if you wish. A small cast of passive characters will act as guides. Grandparents will act as teachers, passing on traditional Japanese customs and values. Players will choose a Japanese friend who can provide emotional processing cues, and an American friend who can guide them in assimilation to American culture. Game actions are broken down into 3 parts. The first uses drag-and-drop mechanics to help players empathize with the trauma involved in internment by such mini-games as the What to Pack game, where players have to decide which limited number of items they would pack before the clock runs out, before being arrested and sent to the camps. Part 2 deals with the dilemma of preserving traditional Japanese customs and values versus assimilation into American culture, as exemplified by a baseball minigame. And culture clash mini-games, in which players need to make choices such as which language to speak at home and whether to take the oath of allegiance, as well as mini games that teach traditional Japanese skills, such as origami, Japanese tea lessons, ikiban, and calligraphy. In Part 3, players step into a time machine where they are challenged to apply what they learn to other historic events, such as the Civil Rights Movement in the 1960s, as well as identifying heroic acts of Americans throughout history, such as the women's suffragist movement or the Underground Railroad. Finally, on Day 8, instructors will lead a 1-hour class discussion using prompts from the teacher's guidebook. Advantages for teachers include increased time bandwidth for addressing other mandated topics because students can play during non-classroom hours. And not unimportantly, student perception of history as a fun subject that they look forward to studying.